Next, you did not burn out your pancreas. And I touched on this in the first thing your doctor should have told you when you were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. But we're going to expound on what I mean by your pancreas is not burned out. Once again, so many patients tell me that, my doctor said that since my pancreas is no longer making enough insulin, I need to take this sulfonylurea that's going to punch on my pancreas to force it to secrete insulin, or I need to go ahead and just start injecting insulin. What proof did they show you that your pancreas is not producing enough insulin? What proof? Because I've been doing this for a while, and it's rare that a patient will tell me or show me evidence that they've had their insulin levels checked or they've had their C-peptide levels checked. And these are the two lab values that you need before you can make such a harsh statement that your pancreas is burned out. And I say it's harsh because if your pancreas is burned out in the mind of the patient, well, it only makes sense. I need to inject insulin or take medications that's going to force my pancreas to secrete more insulin. That's not the truth. The truth is that if you were to check your insulin level and your C-peptide level, not only would you find that you're producing insulin, but you're producing a tremendous amount of insulin that is causing your condition to become worse. It's causing you to gain weight. It's causing you to have PCOS, or if you're a male, it's causing gynecomastia and decrease in testosterone. It's also increasing the chances of you having a heart attack, a stroke. It's increasing your blood pressure. It's causing water retention. It's damaging the nerves in your peripheral extremities. Your extremities, I don't have to say peripheral, such as your toes, your fingers, the smaller blood vessels, your eyes, your kidneys. And so it is high insulin levels that you're already producing that's causing damage to the things we just listed. And on top of that, you're not going to take medications to increase your insulin levels, or you're going to take insulin injections to increase your insulin levels, all because they said you're not producing enough insulin, but at no point were you actually shown the proof that you're not producing enough insulin. So if you actually want to prove that you're not producing enough insulin, then do a fasting insulin test, or check your C-peptide along with the fasting insulin test. And that will truly tell you if you have an insulin deficiency problem. And for most people, you don't have an insulin deficiency problem. You're producing more than enough insulin. It's just that your resistance to insulin is so high that you now need to bring in exogenous insulin. Not even need to, but they're going to recommend that you bring in outside insulin. So that's the next thing that you should have been educated about when you were first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The next thing your doctor should have told you when you were first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes is that this could have been prevented. Why? Now, some people may think that this is a little petty to look back at the past and the history, but it's not, because you most likely have kids, or you have people in your circle, or you have nieces, nephews, but you have someone who could benefit from this information. Now, just think about how detrimental the idea or the belief is that this is something that just runs in your family, it runs in your vein, and that there's nothing you could do about it. Just think about how detrimental that is when it's not a fact. It's not the truth. The truth is that this could have been prevented. How life-changing would this be to give to your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, your brother, your sister? How life-changing would it be to give this information to your family member in order to help them stop the progression on their way to becoming a diabetic? How life-changing would this be? But you would never give that information to them if you just feel that this is something that just runs in our family. Mama had it, daddy had it, my brothers and sister have it, so it only makes sense that I will now get it as well. This is learned helplessness, and this is what the system is doing. And feel how you want to feel about that statement about the system, but if you really think that I'm just coming up with this information because I'm extremely intelligent and I just did so much research. Look, I like myself, I love myself. I'm not about to make it seem like I came up with this life-changing, groundbreaking information and protocol on how to prevent and reverse type 2 diabetes. I love myself, but I'm not about to do that. The truth of the matter is that we've always known that. We've always known that. It's preventable and it's reversible. We'll get into that next. But type 2 diabetes is not something that's running in your family. If we're talking about type 1, then yes, that makes sense that there's certain things that would make you more likely to become a type 1 diabetic based on your lineage. But once again, type 1 and type 2 are very, very different. Type 1 is 1000% preventable. You can stop it. You can stop type 1 diabetes. And going back to the first topic or the first tip, type 2 is brought on based on lifestyle. You know, if you eat the same way your mom and dad ate who are diabetics or who were diabetics, and you drink the same thing they drink, or you don't move the way they did not move, then yes, you will become diabetic, and it may look like it's just something running in your family. But the truth of the matter is that it's not just running in your family. This is something that could have been prevented based on your lifestyle. All right. The fourth thing your doctor should have told you when you were first diagnosed as being a type 2 diabetic is that it's reversible. Yo, what's going on? This is Edward, and you have just watched a clip from my YouTube channel. If you want to see the full video, be sure to click the link in the description to watch the full video on my YouTube channel. Peace.